Today I'm going to be showing you a new build that I thought of, which I think is insane. So the build is God Human, Eagle, Shark Anchor, and Dragon Storm. So first, there are many different swords you can use. You should only be using Dragon Storm for gun though. And then you could maybe try a sword that you have strong grip on, since I have strong grip on Buddy Sword, and also it has a bit of range, so I think that would be good in my build, but you're probably going to want something with strong grip. It would be best for PvP. Then for fighting styles, Sanguine, God Human, maybe even Electric Claw. I wouldn't recommend it though. Also, you might want to get some mastery on Eagle so you can do the admin panel. That's how my flight and stuff is lasting so long. The M1s don't really matter, but once you get V4, you can probably do something like this. Then hit one of those, then something like that should do the trick. That would be a lot of damage. Then you could just fly about and hit them with your Dragon Storm. By the way, be aware of your feather meter at all times. If you're running and it just suddenly runs out, that's when they're the closest to you. Then you're probably just cooked if you're low. Or if you just aren't that good at PvP. So that's why I'd say first test this on like 2.5 mils, maybe even 2.4 mils. Also, the best way to get strong grip if you're new is fishing. Yes, it actually sounds a bit weird, but fishing works. See, once you fish something up, there's a chance for there to be a chest, and if it's like a diamondy chest, it will get a scroll. Like once I've actually seen someone get a mythical scroll, which is actually insane. Anyway, let me just catch this fish. Let's see what I get. Angelfish, or however you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm not good at pronouncing fish names. Also, Eagle has good movement, good for flying in the air. Like when you start orbit camping, portal users will actually lose their mind. Like, this build counters nearly every fruit. Except gravity. Nothing counters gravity. It even counters Kitsune or Dragon sometimes. Since Dragon, like you know, they fly slower when you go up. Also, Eagle, you can equip other stuff while you're flying. So good, you don't have to hold it as well. Okay, let's just go to this, which Dragon is supposed to orbit camp. Once you do your Dragon next door, you will get a boost. You'd want to avoid people who do that. Like, look how slow I'm going right now. Like, this is very slow for me. When you're going like this, you go so quick. So that's what you've got to be careful for. Dragon is the only fruit that has a chance of beating this build. So let's say if they transform, but you have some good distance on them, this is what you're going to want to do. So first, if you have like something like CDK, something like that, I'm guessing you might have strong grip on CDK already since it's a popular used sword. Basically, you're going to go up, since Eagle doesn't matter for going up, and it's faster than Dragon, maybe even in full transformation. And you can see how much height I gained there super quick. So that's what you're going to want to do. Even if they use Dragonic Saw, that uses so much furry meter. So I'd say you can live if you do that. Also, you're going to want 300 mastery and do the admin panel stuff. Okay, let's look at the Eagle one. 66. So view, basically you need to fly above 2,000 studs in the air. It'll take about like 3 of your feather meters without flight capacitor on. Also, you need the increased flight speed and increased feather meter, or you're cooked. Like, I mean, just look at this. Let me unequip that. So you saw how quick we were going before. Look how slow we go now. It's so much slower. And also, let's say we were to start spamming our M1s and stuff. Never do that. Like, just don't do that unless you're farming mastery. Also, don't charge it up either. So then, like, you'll see, my feather meter isn't going down as fast. But let's say I were to unequip that, then it should go down so much quicker. Okay, let me just quit and unequip that. Like, I mean, just look at this. Like, see how fast it's going down now? Like, even just with flying, you will run out, like, instantly. Also, to complete this, you need to hit enemies with M1s, I think. Wait, hang on, let me just find the admin panel just so I can check. Okay, opening it up. Let's view. Use skills on enemies while flying. So, I mean, no one's going to be using M1s on the ground, are they? Like, no one is going to be using Eagle and just rarely ever using Flight. Since no one is going to see that. Since Eagle is only good when it's using Flight. If you're on the ground running around, then do a surprise featherstorm. If you miss, you're cooked. Unless you have Cyborg 3 or something like that. But Featherstorm is also good for escaping combos as well. So if you're flying, the knockback resistance will be a lot. Like, let's say I were to get hit with a God-Human Sea. It would normally launch me about that far and normally up in the air, probably not down. But if you're in Eagle Flight, you can actually cancel out the combos that they try to do. So, like, they hit you with a God-Human Sea while you're in the air, you will only go a bit above them, which, like, let's say they were to hit you here, like, you'd expect them to be flying off to about here, then falling down, so they'd want a long-range move, but with Eagle, like, especially if they have Gravity Blade or Spiky Trident, it is insane for avoiding. Like, I mean, Spiky Trident versus Eagle, you're just never going to hit because of observation as well. So, I'd recommend, like, not even Dragon Trident or Lightning would work, actually. Since I don't have Dragon Trident, look, let me search it. Yeah, I don't have Dragon Trident yet. But, its X ability will basically summon a storm all around here, a bit like Lightning's X thunderstorm, which an eagle could just fly about and flash step out the second they get into it. Also, I think they might have fixed the electric flash glitch with your sword, where if you do like something like that, then normally before this glitched, before the glitch was patched, you wouldn't lose a charge. So I was just like this spamming it to get across islands. It worked so well. No wonder they patched it. Like, imagine seeing a lightning user running like that. That would be a nightmare to deal with. Also, like, I think you actually might need, I don't think that Lightning's Dragon, the final bit in the admin panel, will work, since an eagle would be able to escape it before it comes down, so you need to time it like super well. Okay, let me go back to eagle. And I think a good combo to do with eagle, so first when you're in flight, you would probably want to do something like this. So first, catch them with your Dragon Storm, do something like Infernal Comet and Flash Step behind them. Normally if you aim it down it would work. Then Bone Crusher, then do the X move, then you could do something like that into probably Buddy Sword, Z, then Sanguine C and X. Then maybe you could do a Heat Slash or Dragonic Cascade, not held, but in the air still. Like for a business combo, you actually would want to unactivate flight. So basically you're up here. Let's pretend you're up here. You want to hit someone like that. You'd then go like that. You'd also, actually I'd say still keep in flight mode there. But then once you flash that, on flight, that'll stun them for a bit. Give you a bit of time to probably do something like this. Then I think that'd work pretty well for a good combo, but you'd want V4 on for that. And I'd say, like, the main problem are dragon users. Since, like, let's just test out a few other common fruits you will see in PvP a lot, including Light, can use Shining Flight, will not be able to do air attacks well though, unless paired with a fighting style or a sword that could make it work. Like, there's one thing that you'd never want to get hit by. Basically, so someone's in Ghoul V4, they have Life Steal at 2, they have Ghoul Mask on, and then they hit you with a Sanguine Z, like, they will gain like 10,000 health. I already tried it without Ghoul Mask and only Life Leech 1, and it gave me 7,000 health back, which is kind of insane. Like, especially for just a fighting style. Like, for Shadow, I would probably expect something like that, since Nightmare Leech is hard to hit, and it's also pretty hard to combo with, since it's basically like dash forward, you're stunned. A bit like Lightspeed Destroy, except slower, harder to hit, but gives you health back. Like, if you're getting teamed, you're just cooked if you're using Shadow. But if you have this build on, basically, you can just fly up and just keep on using Dragon Storm a lot, since this stuff can multi-hit and grab both of them. Like, especially when you do Lightning Wave, since that has a lot of range as well. Like, let's say you're reloading your Dragon Storm, so then switch to Buddy Sword or something, then just use Lightning Wave like that. Also, if you wanted to be extremely annoying, imagine what Cyball V3 could do when you're just flying around, or especially in a Fed Storm, since basically your hitbox will be moving around all over the move, which in theory you shouldn't be able to get hit unless it's a big AoE splash move, which there are not many moves like that. Like, I think Infernal Comet would probably work, Scarlet Tear and Devourer of Worlds would work, nothing else would though, in this build anyway. So that's why Feather Storm is so good for escaping combos, especially Doe combos. Since, like, normally they require a certain knockback, more or less. Since if they know all the eagle stuff, you can uncancel flight, or if you don't have eagle flight on already, just move back even more, which will give you a speed boost backwards by a lot, which, let's say they're just knocking you into something, just wouldn't work well. Like, there's sometimes a glitch where you can have God Human C as a combo starter, I think that does work well with dough. So I think what it is. So basically, so once you knock them back, you'd want them to have to press forward. So then you could probably hit them with that. Then do something with piercing clothesline and all of that. Since every dough user knows a combo that goes like something then piercing clothesline. I have also discovered a tech with dough, which I'd say gravity blade or spiky trident. I'd recommend spiky trident more though, since it has bigger range. So then like you could grab them, then do that, then you could probably dough hurricane them, then hit one of those. That will bring them down to there. So then you could probably do something like that. Then if this can come off cooldown, I'd say if you had ghoul for that, it would probably work. But if not, then you'd probably want to bring them to you with the Dove, since you can move it around. Then just go for probably like something with sanguine art, maybe something like that. Also, guys, you'd want some good range swords with Eagle and Dragonstorm, since I wouldn't recommend Soul Guitar, since it's like that, then that. Like, it does break Ken, but it's not as fast. Like, let's say I was flying around like this. Like, I mean, it doesn't go as fast as Dragonstorm. It goes further, definitely, but it goes very slow. It makes it, like, very far, though. Since, like, what? Does it actually just not do anything to that? Oh, never mind. It just can't really go that far. I think it's supposed to make an illusion that it keeps on going, but only if it hits the player. It does have a bit of splash, but, like, when are you ever going to be hitting all of your M1s with Soul Guitar? That's why Dragonstorm is by far the best one. Like, let's try some other guns. Let's first try Venom Bow. It's got a very long cooldown. Works pretty well, but I'd say it's actually a good second option if you don't have Dragonstorm. Also, I think the moves do have a bit of range. Not sure though. Now let's try some. I'm just trying things that would actually make sense to be good, like Kabucha. Doesn't have good range, it's just a bit of a slingshot. It isn't like a minigun, like you can combo with it. I wouldn't recommend it for gun stats though. Then Bizarre Revolver. It has a pretty good shot, but a very long cooldown once you do all three. It's basically like a burst, like still good for V4 builds, but not that good for only gun stats. Then shotgun, that's just never going to be used. Then let's try acid and rifle. Like, maybe, but the cooldown is just too long. Like spiky bomb, maybe, but I really don't think it would work as well. Now let's try dual flintlock. I have never used these before. Like, I mean, it can do 1-2 very well. If I was 2. And like, it breaks Ken. It would be good for a thirsty build, but once you get all of the good guns, Dragonstorm, Venom Bow, Soul Guitar, Kabucha, you're not really going to be an idiot. Then like slingshot refine, slingshot musket, flintlock, like same thing, you're just never going to be using them. Cannon though will definitely never work. Like, it's got good range, but it travels so slow. Like, look, also it doesn't actually have the best range. Like, my Eagle Flight nearly goes as fast. Like, once you start pairing it, let's say, let me get CDK out. Like, basically, let's just try this. then you're just going to go like that, you're ahead of it. Also, you could easily beat it, so that's why it's just not that good. So I'd say by far the best gun would be Dragonstorm, but the swords, since they don't play a big part in this build, you just want something with range and strong grip. So that could be Shark Anchor, Buddy Sword. I think maybe Yammer would work, but that's really just all of it. Like the only ones that would work are like Buddy Sword, Shark Anchor, maybe Spiky Trident or Gravity Blade. Not really though. Then like Midnight Blade, definitely not. Maybe Yammer, maybe CDK, probably not Dark Blade, maybe Halo Side. Let's just test. See if it will work well. Like maybe you could do something with that in Eagle Mode, but really not sure. So I'd probably say Buddy Sword would be your best option. Like especially since the further away, the more damage it does. So like I could try and hit someone all the way from here to about like here, maybe like about there. And Heat Slash has a bit of range, good for a close-up combo as well. Like it could be a last resort move to stun them if they get too close. Like you could pair it with a Featherstorm as well, since it's just like a mini Featherstorm. Let's go to an NPC and try it out, just to see how well it can do. Okay, let's just go to Hydra, since I spawned like right next to an NPC. Okay, so like testing that, like with strong grip, it'll do a lot of damage. It also inflicts burn. Then your Featherstorm, like actually with Sword's stats, Heat Slash would do more damage. Or maybe it's just because of my strong grip. Also, yeah, you do get basically like, if I was level 500, actually no, if I was level 1 and I wanted to try and fight Cyborg or something, like it just, like you'd have the same stats. So like for max levels, it doesn't really work well. So now, like we can't one-shot the Yeti and stuff like that. Or maybe it's just stuff like near level, but like also look how cool Infernal Comet is. Also, some of this stuff is very hard to get. So, like if you're just starting out in 3rd C, I'd probably recommend Venom Bow. Like, I mean, you can easily get Eagle. Then for your sword, probably Gravity Blade, I'd say. Since most of this stuff is 3rd C. So I'd say Gravity Blade. Then for a fighting style, like maybe you'd have Sharkman. Maybe you'd have Superhuman. It wouldn't be that good, but it would work. Let me just actually get Superhuman since I've never used it. What did I just do? Wait, hang on. There's like a gap there you can get into. There is! Oh, if I do a hide and seek, I can hide here. Oh, that is a good glitch. Oh, I can't get out. You probably want to have like a flying thing, like Eagle, would actually be good for just about everything. Like I'd say probably like either beginner or sweat. It's good for both. Wait, let me just get super. I rarely ever use it. Okay, let's learn it. I have already got it mastered because of God Human. Not sure why I have 500 on it though. Okay, so basically, it's just a worse version of God Human. Like, I mean, it does have more range and all of that than Sanguine. So I'd say this is actually a good build if you're just starting out in the 3rd C. Especially good for boss farming. Since you can just fly about, do Featherstorm, since it's multi-hit, it would be very good for grinding. Since also, Venom Bow doesn't have a long cooldown either. It's not a minigun, but it does work. Also, once you get a better build, like Sanguine, Eagle, Buddy Sword, and Dragon Storm, it becomes so much better, yet barely any change. So it's you still have Eagle and all of that, and your gun hasn't really changed. Your fighting style, you could have God Human, but if you wanted a challenge, you might have Sanguine. So it actually wouldn't take that much work if you think of it. Buddy Sword, easy to get. You just have to defeat Cake Queen, which you could probably just beg some people to help you with that. It does work. And Superhuman, I'd say arguably sometimes better than Godhuman, which is kind of crazy since Godhuman is the upgrade of Superhuman. I also don't get why 2 of the 330 fighting styles are on the same island. Floating Turtle, it is one of the biggest islands. You will normally see some PvP wars going on. You might see some at Tiki, if you're grinding, bounty hunting for the first time, you're normally going to see one person just grinding at Tiki. Normally anyway. I used to, but I think it might have stopped now. Okay, let's say if we go down here. Also, if you think about it, Draco might actually be good for the damage and stuff. Let's just get Godhuman. See, it's not that much of a change. All the changes, you can you have a bit more damage. You can charge up the C, and the X, Superhuman is basically X held on Godhuman. That won't really be doing much else. So I'd say the main part of this build is really just Dragonstorm. Not much else matters that much. You'd want Eagle or something for movement. Oh no, I can't get out. I found my way out finally. There's just so little difference, even though it might seem so much. Once you get Dragonstorm, that's when you can easily bounty hunt. Because of the damage. You could do so much damage if you think about it. Even the abilities can just go like that. Oh no, I'm getting grabbed. Especially paired with Draco or something, you could go super fast. Featherstorm or Heat Slash paired with Cyborg V3 could go super well. Same as with Draco, since you get a movement speed, a bit of a damage buff, and then the people who you aren't allied with, then they get a speed debuff, and I think they might take more damage or deal less damage. And also you can use it to stop some moves. Actually, most combos you can use Draco V3 to escape. Same with Cyborg V3. Also, Eagle helps you jump higher. So, basically, no one can escape you. It's just an unstoppable build. The reason I say Sanguine is better, since, you can do all of that, but you're rarely going to be using Godhuman anyway, since you only use fighting style and sword if they get close normally. It's Heat Slash into Godhuman stuff. You can also pair that with Sanguine and Lifesteal. That's the main part. Since the only bit about this build that might not work well is it has no defense buffs or healing. Also, I don't get why the Sanguine room just rarely ever loads. Luckily, Eagle can fix that. I feel when they reworked Falcon, like, the reason I have Perm Eagle is actually because I thought Falcon would be super good just because it was above Ice Fruit, and I had Ice Fruit Perm then. And I thought, oh, well, if it's above that and Ice Fruit is already super good, this must be so much better. And I was actually not proved wrong for a bit since I did not know what other fruits could do. So I thought it was like as good as a mythical or something, which is just crazy. Since Falcon, like everyone hated it. Same with Barrier. I do get why they reworked these fruits though. They needed it. But I mean, Eagle, like I feel like it might need a nerf. I don't want that to happen though. Also, these M1s actually have aimbots. Like, look, I just have to aim just somewhere near them and it hits. Like, look. I just need to aim somewhere near them and it hits. Like, look, I'm firing over there right now. Like, basically, that is nowhere near where they are. I think it might be a bit of the explosion or something. And, like, so much happened. But anyways, this will be the end of today's video. Bye! Remember, like and subscribe!